So I think this should be working now. I'm just going to leave it here, and hopefully it'll work out for audio.
Okay, cool.
I just got a few questions for you. So I was actually reading on your website that on your bio that you get attributed to, piano playing, artists like, the classics like Billy Joel, Elton John, things like that. Do you feel that that's appropriate to attribute yourself to those types of artists? Are they influences to you?
They weren't influences until everyone attributed them as influences, and then I started checking out the music. I never grew up listening to Billy Joel or Elton John.
Okay.
I like Elton John pre-glasses, pre-velvet jumpsuit. But I love Billy Joel, but none of them were like immediate influences. And I understand why that comparison. There's not a lot of people in my genre that play piano.
Right.
Mostly it's a guitar playing thing. So it's an easy pocket to place.
Okay.
But I get it, and it's definitely it's flattery for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Billy Joel.
And you, I saw that some of your main influences are Joni Mitchell, such like that.
Yeah, Joni Mitchell and James Taylor, Jackson Brown.
Jackson Brown, nice.
And then I listen to a lot of current music now. I love the Killers.
Oh, great.
And I don't know. I went through a Tool phase. I loved Tool. And so I listen. I definitely listen to all sorts of music. But for me, it always comes back to songwriting. That's the stuff. Randy Newman is a huge.
Randy Newman. Okay, cool.
Beyond Toy Story 1, 2, and 3.
Awesome. So I listened to a couple of your songs, and I realized that you have some pretty strong messages through your lyrics.
Oh shit!
I like it a lot, and I was wondering, is there a particular message that you try to send through your music? Is there a certain type of, when you write a song, do you really try to get to your audience? What you're writing about. Is there something particular that permeates throughout your music that you try to bring across?
When I first started writing, I wouldn't say, maybe not. When I first started writing, I wrote to more figure out what I was writing about. It was just a form of expression, and sometimes I would just keep singing songs every night to figure out what they meant to me, as opposed to what. Sometimes I didn't know.
Were they covers of songs or songs that you were making?
No, they were my own songs. Your
own songs.
But sometimes there would just be lines in it where I didn't know what they meant. They were just. They were lyrics that I didn't totally understand yet.
Yeah. How I feel.
and then now more so. I mean, someone said that a lot of my songs are really, really sad, and some of them are, but I'm not really sad at all. So I think sometimes I write songs in order. Because when I listen to them, I certainly feel a little bit less alone with some of the songs. Yeah. As far as a message, I don't think it's something that I've been deliberate about, but as Ryan and I have a very specific style in how we tour, and a lot of it is community service based, where we'll go to hospitals and play from room to room at an HIV clinic. And when you're doing that, as part of your job day-to-day routine, it definitely has started to come out in my music, and I think it's apparent on the new record, not so much on other stuff, but I think it's apparent on the new one.
And your newest album was called
the last one is called The Trouble with People, and the new one is called The Next Right Thing. That's the one.
Okay, is that already out, or is that coming
out? No, it's coming out on January 11th, 2011.
Next Right Thing. January 11th, you said?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And if you don't mind, I was going to ask you, this is one of my favorite questions to ask people that are in the music industry, is that, if you were going to say, what your ideal music career situation would be, when you got into it, you had, I don't know if you always wanted to be a musician, but what do you think your ideal career is? What do you see as being, like what you want to do with music? Where you want to take it? What would be ideal for you if you had no limitations?
If I had no limitations,
yeah.
I definitely, to be totally honest, I definitely would like. I write my music to be heard by a lot of people. I'm not overly specific with things, and that is deliberate. So I am writing for Radio City Music Hall and radio and all that stuff.
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man.
Okay, cool. And what would you say your plans are for the future? You got this new record coming out. You're going to go on tour. What are the plans for the next year? That's about it, huh?
That's about it, man.
Yeah, very focused. Awesome. And one last thing that I noticed, last year in April, you went on a tour that was 100% fan funded.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Is that a couple years ago?
Pre-Empress.
So how did you do that? That's what I want to know.
Well, I definitely took in the footsteps of a lot of other Boston singer-songwriters. I mean, that whole fan-funded thing came out of these streets.
Is it?
Yeah, that whole notion. I followed in the model of Alice Paul and Melissa Ferrick and folks that were independent mavericks, and they when they either left their label, they turned to their fans in order to fund their records and their tours. And for me, I was without a label at that point, knowing that I needed to get on the road and find a fan base, and also coming to the very, very fast realization that at first you can't make any money on the road.
Right.
And so I sent out a newsletter, basically kind of asking for $1 a day. So every day that we were on the road, and it was an incredible experience. It was going to be a month-long campaign with the goal to raise like $500. So for the 2 weeks that we were going to be out, it would help fund the gas and the occasional hotel.
Was it like a Get in the Van tour, or? No,
it was a Get in my old busted up Toyota Camry tour.
Yeah. Nice. How'd you fit a piano in that? That's what I want to know.
That was an amazing process, because as soon as I asked for help, I mean, I was out promoting the Trouble with People, and I realized how amazing people were. So it kind of felt sacrilegious in a way. But as soon as you ask for help, you realize how far your music reaches. And, I mean, we were getting donations. We reached our $500 goal in about an hour. And then in 24 hours, we ended up with about $3,500.
Wow.
And we kept that campaign going. But you realize we were getting donations from Japan. We've never played in Japan. You realize,
wow, that's
the power that music gets passed on from friends to family, and it was amazing to see the reach, and it was very, very empowering. Also, when your fans are involved in your career financially, when they make an investment, it's kind of just like, if you're a stockbroker and you invest in Starbucks, you're gonna think about drinking Starbucks if you're, it's and it was the same thing with fans. When they were invested, it was a stronger fan base. It was a stronger core. There was so much more. It was a community. Shows didn't become shows; they became reunions. And
does that still go on today? You feel that same feeling?
Absolutely, it totally does. Yeah.
Awesome. So being around Boston too, like, did you start off your career locally and then move on from there?
No. I mean, I think we played in. We did the open mics here a lot, but our fan base here became kind of after the fact.
Okay.
We played a lot in New York, and we just took the road. We played every coffee shop, every open mic that we could, and yeah.
How long did you do that before until you think you got a real big, the fan base that you have now?
I mean,
How long did it take for it to be on the road and then you finally take off? You know.
I don't know if it's. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't know if the trajectory is like that. I mean, we still. I mean, when I say like fan base for us, it's playing to like 100 people in Boston, so it's not crazy. I think there's. My approach is not so much the numbers. That's not the way I go about it, but it's if you are in front of people in a room, touching every single person in that room, I want people to leave shows with their life changed. And music. The thing is, you know, that's the really cool thing about my job is that I think it's a really noble one, and it's there's not many people that can check into work and have that opportunity every single day. Mm-hmm. You know, so
you're right. You're absolutely right about that. That's a great thing.
But
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you got a new album coming out, and you're on your way. So what's next? Where do you go from Emerson?
I'm going to Algonquin, Maine.
Oh, Algonquin?
Play with Livingston Taylor tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he is a mentor of mine, and he was a teacher of mine at Berkeley.
Yeah, I saw that you went to Berkeley and then stopped going there. You just took on your career right away.
Yeah, it was like an overpriced paint by numbers project. Is what I say about Berkeley.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's all I got.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Pleasure. And shoot me an email when the interview is posted up.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It should be within